What is metal fatigue? You know when you try to break a wire, you bend it one side to the other? That weakens the metal and it makes it more easy to bend and more easy to break. When you sharpen your knife, the same thing may happen with your edge. So if you have here the tip of your knife, imagine here is the apex. If you put a lot of pressure, it would bend, and you turn to the other side and you bend to the other side. If you do this, maybe the edge will leave out of the sharpening, looking great, shaving sharp. The edge durability will not be the same as a sharpening done without metal fatigue. To avoid this, what we do is you use pressure when you need pressure. So if you are grinding steel, you want to remove a lot of metal, and you have not reached the apex yet, this is a good time to use a moderate amount of force. And when you are working with your edge, it's already apexed. Using light pressure after you remove the burr will both help you to get a finer edge and to avoid metal fatigue. For the same reason, you also need to avoid varying the angle, especially raising it too much while you put pressure, because that's when the edge is more likely to suffer fatigue. Metal fatigue is one of the reasons why people that take sharpening serious don't use honing rods. You see, here on stone, the force you make is spread throughout the stone, so the pressure in each point of the steel will be a lot smaller than here. If you have a round honing rod, the contact with your knife, it's extremely small comparing to the stone. And imagine it's 50 times smaller than your stone. So even if you put half as much pressure on a honing rod as you use on the stone, the pressure on the edge will still be 25 times higher. So yeah, it's huge. And that's the reason why it works faster, because the pressure is also greater. But you do that, you also get metal fatigue. If you do use one of those, make sure you use very little pressure. It really doesn't require pressure. And you only need to do a couple passes. You don't need to do 20 passes per side. And don't raise the knife, otherwise you're putting even more stress into it. While I don't think it's ideal, it's decent if you don't have any time to sharpen. So people that work at a butcher shop, they need results as fast as possible. So in this case scenarios, I understand a honing rod, but for the home cook, I don't really think it's worth it. Durability will be even worse if the rod has those lines that reduces even further the contact region. If the knife is already sharpened and I have an edge roll, what I like to do is do a couple edge trailing swipes on the stone and alternating passes, and a kind of a stropping but on a stone. And this is how I maintain the edge if it rolls. As a bonus of using stone, I also remove a bit of fatigued metal from use without creating new one, and I have fresh micro serrations, and it's better in every aspect besides the time you take. It takes 5 minutes for me to do this, so at least to me it doesn't justify using a honing rod. There's an excellent video about honing rods from Cliff Stamp. He was very strict with method testing. That's the video that made me quit using honing rods. He was really a big loss to the knife community. His channel is still available on YouTube. Links in the description. I recommend you guys to check it out. See ya.